From on 911, what is the address of your emergency?
Olivia! Please, hurry. Someone take the gun.
Tell me what's going on.
I'm at home. My wife is shot in the head. Please.
Somebody shot in the head.
My wife, please.
Tell me, where is she shot?
In the head.
Okay, where in the head?
Take it and it went off.
Okay. I want you to try to control the bleeding.
In the soft, muted stillness of a Beaumont, Texas morning, the world had not yet risen to its full rhythm. It was February 14th, 2019, Valentine's Day, a day drenched in symbolism, expectation, and quiet promises. At 8:15 a.m., inside the HB Plus supermarket, 39-year-old Olivia Jones moved quietly through the aisles, collecting ingredients for the dinner she planned to prepare for her husband, Christopher Ray Jones. She walked with a gentle composure, her movements small, careful, almost delicate, as though she were trying not to disturb the morning. At the floral section, her eyes drifted toward a bouquet of pink and red roses, colors of affection, colors of devotion, colors that held meaning in her heart, even if they had long stopped meaning anything in her marriage. She placed the roses into her cart. Olivia had no way of knowing that these flowers, symbols of tenderness, would accompany her to the last hour of her life, and that before the clock struck 9 a.m., she would be dying on the floor of her own bedroom, shot through the back of the head. Her final morning began as an act of love, but it would end as a casualty of toxic control, violence, and a long, unseen pattern of domination. At 8:49 a.m., a frantic voice broke through the calm of the emergency dispatch center.
From on 911, what is the address of your emergency?
Olivia! Please, hurry. Someone take the gun.
Tell me what's going on.
I'm at home. My wife is shot in the head. Please.
Somebody shot in the head.
My wife, please.
Tell me, where is she shot?
In the head.
Okay, where in the head?
Take it and it went off.
Okay. I want you to try to control the bleeding.
11 minutes later, the first responding officers approached the house at 5575 Pine Bur Boulevard. Officer Otis Butler, who knew Chris and Olivia personally, stepped out first. His body camera captured everything: the house, the sounds, the chaos, and the subtle details that would slowly unravel the truth.
She in my bedroom. Where's the gun? In the bedroom, broken down on the dresser. Come this way.
Okay.
Please, come this way. This way.
Okay.
Please. Olivia! Baby!
Sir. Okay. Step back.
What's up, Mr. Butler? I tried to take it.
Get his in.
Mama!
Chris sprinted toward him, frantic, urging him into the house. Please, come this way. Hurry. Inside the bedroom, the scene was gruesome. Blood splattered across the walls, a dark pool spreading beneath Olivia's body. Olivia lay face down on the floor, her chest still moving with faint, agonizing breaths. A bullet had entered the back of her head and exited through her right eye. She was alive, but only barely. Paramedics rushed inside, but they would not be able to save her. At 9 a.m., Olivia Jones was pronounced dead. Out in the living room, Chris began to explain what happened, or what he wanted the police to believe happened.
What happened? We had a disagreement, and I say, baby, if you're not working with me, you're working against me. I say, we've been doing this. My 19-year-old stepdaughter was 8. My 11-year-old was 1. I say, Olivia, we can't get it together. We can't be together. We got several. And I say, I just want a divorce. And her reaction was, she got the gun? I said, give me the gun. She like, I don't remember which hand. I'm like, give me that gun. What is you doing? Stop trying to scare me. I took it.
So when you grabbed it, went off?
She yanked. I grabbed it and she yanked back. And the gun went off.
Okay.
The gun went off.
But the pieces didn't fit. Olivia was 5'3", slender, and physically timid. Chris was large, muscular, a former correctional counselor with a history of violent outbursts. The idea that she could overpower him, while simultaneously positioning herself in a way that the bullet would enter the back of her skull, defied logic. But it wasn't just physics that made his story crumble. It was Chris's reactions. When Officer Butler told him that Olivia was still alive, even if barely, Chris didn't show relief. He showed something else: frustration, confusion, something too controlled.
Mr. Butler, I got help.
No. You don't need to go in there, okay?
Is she alive?
Yeah, she is.
She is.
We got him.
Is she alive, Mr. Butler?
When we went in there,
Please don't tell me she's alive and she's not.
Yeah, when I saw her, she was.
She was talking?
She wasn't talking.
Is she breathing?
It looked like she was breathing.
Ooh, good.
Like, don't
Mr.
go in
Butler,
there, sir.
please.
Sir, I need you to stay right here with me, okay? And calm down.
Calm down.
Another red flag. The Jones home was lined with cameras, outside and inside. Every door, every room, every entry point. Chris proudly handed over his phone containing access to all the surveillance feeds. The detectives expected a straightforward timeline. Instead, what they found was something chilling.
Following this discovery, the officers decided that the best course of action was to detain Chris until they had a better understanding of what really happened. As Chris was getting handcuffed, his 19-year-old daughter, Ariel, arrived at the house. She had already been contacted by Chris, who told her what had happened. She was clearly devastated.
There she goes.
Go with this officer right here. According to him, she grabs a 9mm in their bedroom. And she did that. He claims he reached for the gun to try to get it from her. And when he reached for it and they struggle over it, boom.
I am very particular. If you heard that, that's true. I am very particular. You strive for the best for people. I work really hard, and I don't make excuses for myself. And I don't accept excuses for anybody else.
What did you say?
Really? You serious? Really? This is not going to solve anything.
Okay.
You know, this is not, you do not want to do that. You put that freaking gun down before you make a mistake and hurt yourself. She was crying. She was crying.
Chris handed over his cell phone, which had access to the home security camera footage.
Say, if you want to access just that camera, you touch that. And that's just that camera. Okay. You follow what I'm saying?
So far, let's go back to devices.
Yes, sir. And everything is labeled.
Carport, backyard, front door, back door, laundry room, inside garage, living room, kitchen.
The police examined this footage, hoping to corroborate Chris's story. At 8:41 a.m., Olivia can be seen going about her morning routine in the kitchen. Then, all of a sudden, the footage cuts out. 3 minutes later, at 8:44 a.m., the video is back up, and Chris is captured frantically pacing around the house while on the phone with 911. 11 minutes later, at 8:55 a.m., the responding officers can be seen entering the residence. That means that Olivia must have been shot during this 3-minute gap in the footage. In the interrogation room, Chris was asked why this footage was missing. He claimed that he had no idea.
We're still trying to pull up these videos here, okay? Why would there be no recordings on them?
I don't know. It should be. Everybody that went in that house should be on it. But like I said, the internet, you can go through days and it pretty much does it. We shouldn't have bought that. You just keep, you can pick whatever day you want and it's never going to be consistent. That's why I said it was a waste of money.
Well, I'm wanting desperately to find some video on here that corroborates what you're telling us, but almost all the videos start right after this event happened.
You're watching Behind the Crime Tape. If you're gripped by this deep...
Chris had a bunch of excuses, from internet problems to not charging the camera properly. But at this point, the detectives were taking anything Chris said with a grain of salt. It seemed more likely that Chris, the only one with access to the footage, had tampered with it. Since they did not have the video, they had Chris reenact the moment that he tried to disarm Olivia.
Now go ahead and do my initial. She pulls it. Give me the... Okay, and I go. I'm sorry.
You're good.
No, you're good.
I want the chair.
I'm sorry. You're fine.
I like the chair.
I'm reliving it. You are? I'm reliving it.
So she should be shot in the back of her right head.
Did you feel me twist your? Did you feel me twist?
Back here.
Did you feel me twist your?
We're still not
I
looking.
twisted.
With each question asked, it seems as if Chris was improvising the answer, actively trying to make the puzzle pieces fit together rather than telling the truth. The detectives ended their initial interview feeling more suspicious of Chris than ever. They then moved on to other members of the family, starting with Olivia's sister, Angela.
Olivia Jones is your sister, right? We've been talking a lot lately. We talk every day. I drop her baby to her at the tax office. She's always been timid about everything. But she was the type that whatever went on in their home, she would keep it there.
Yeah. She's kind of a private
person.
Yeah.
She loved her baby so much that she thought she had to live for them. You know, she would never.
Angela went on to reveal the extent of Chris's control over Olivia.
She can't talk on the phone after a certain time. He controlled the finances. He never wanted to be in the presence of her family reunions, anything. He never came. But she would have to step off, and when he would call, and all you could hear was him screaming and yelling on the phone. His character is agitation. Like, his character is to be aggressive. I just don't get it. Because all she wanted, my sister was a married type. All she wanted was to be loved.
Yeah.
She loved love. Like, she loved her babies. She wanted to live for her babies.
To make matters worse, Chris's ex-wife Letitia, who he initially met back in 1999, corroborated his pattern of controlling and aggressive behavior.
I met Chris Jones in 1999. It was just like a constant fight. Like, he strangled me, choked me out, drugged me through the house. My skin was missing off my back. One time he bit my hand. He had this bite marks in my hand. This was what it was. If the house not clean, he's told me that he would kill me if I was to ever leave him. Told me how he would do it. The reason I never said anything or went for help was because I was extremely in fear of my life. Because I knew and I felt in my heart that he would kill me.
And most damning of all were the allegations made by Olivia's daughter Arielle during her interview. She explained what it was like living at the house with her mom and Chris.
One time they were arguing and I heard her say she couldn't breathe. I would see bruises on her. It broke her down to the point where she believed what he said.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be nothing without me, stuff like that.
Right.
Everybody knows my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows my mom. Everybody knows that we were her world.
With each person interviewed, the allegations against Chris were stacking higher and higher. They doubled back with him, urging him to tell the truth about what actually happened to the missing footage.
To be honest, videos.
I look guilty.
No,
By deleting those videos, I look guilty.
Not if you say right now, what you just said a while ago, I freaked out, I panicked, I did some stuff I shouldn't have done. Is that one of them?
Yes.
How many did you delete?
I don't know. Honestly.
Okay.
I'm just afraid of being blamed for something I did do something that looks really bad on me.
While the confession was a much-needed win for the detectives, there was still no trace of those crucial 3 minutes of footage. However, the detectives did their due diligence. They spent the days combing through all available footage from the house to see for themselves what daily life was like for the Jones family. In these recordings, the true nature of Chris and Olivia's relationship was on full display.
They ain't gonna be looking stupid. Look on the floor. Look on the floor. Look on the floor, White. Look on the floor. Look on the floor. Look on the floor. Look on the Why is that like that? We're not paying attention.
Okay, leave.
You wasn't worried about the son of a bitch a minute ago. That's your mother. Look at me like that, bitch. I'm not playing with you. Lazy. You want to do some shit, not enough? Give it here. You got all the goddamn answers. You don't do a goddamn thing around this. Right. This your Pass
I
me
know
this.
I was gonna be.
That's clean this. That's clean.
I didn't want to. They fell on the floor, so I didn't want to reuse them.
You look at it. You don't pay attention what the f*** you doing. You all over the place, Olivia. You ain't got the chance to claim no f***ing law. Who on the wall? Who you burning now?
Me?
Harriet don't live here. It's you. It's always been you.
Chris would take any chance that he could to bully Olivia, constantly putting her worth into question, even humiliating her in front of her own daughter.
When I got the show ass, you didn't have a job. You collected unemployment. You just had off. And most men in this world want a woman that got what? You wouldn't be doing it if I wouldn't have got upset. You would have bagged that. Life would be so much easier for me if you start thinking. You do dumb because you don't think.
This footage shed light on Chris's true colors and confirmed the allegations of abuse from Olivia's family. Detectives also looked into Chris's criminal records and discovered that he had a history of violent charges, including multiple assaults in 1996 and a domestic assault in 1998, which landed him in jail for a brief period of time. Even though they were still waiting for ongoing forensic analysis results, authorities believed that they had enough evidence to place charges against Chris.
News this morning, a Beaumont man is now facing murder charges in a Valentine's Day shooting of his wife. Police say this man, Christopher Ray Jones, who worked as a correctional counselor at the Beaumont Federal Prison, killed his wife, Olivia.
Chris was charged with first-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter in April of 2019. But unexpectedly, within 24 hours after being charged, he was released on a $150,000 bond and was put under house arrest with a GPS monitor.
Now a man charged with murdering his wife is back at their home.
40-year-old Christopher Ray Jones was arrested and charged with shooting his wife in the face on Valentine's Day. His bond was set at $150,000. He paid and is now out.
Many taking to social media to voice their concerns, stating things like, "Can't believe he's out on a $150,000 bond. That's crazy. What's wrong with our system?" And, "Can't believe they would make his bond so low that he got out. He should not be walking the streets."
While out on bail, Christopher was allowed to continue operating the Jones family business, a food truck called One Plate at a Time. The judge allowed Chris to work while out on bail since the food truck is directly beside his home. However, this decision was controversial amongst Olivia's family and the community. They knew Chris was the only person with Olivia at the time of her death, and they all seemed to believe that he had killed her.
This food truck on Concord Road in Beaumont is a hot topic on social media. It's not generating rave reviews from many, but condemnation from a grieving family.
I don't see how would anyone want to support someone who murdered their wife on Valentine's Day, which is a day that we are supposed to celebrate love. And the day that she was going to celebrate that with him, he decides to take her life.
Chris's image was tainted even further when the results from the crime lab came in. The bloodstain patterns at the crime scene indicated that the gunshot wound could not have happened in the way that Chris described it. Additionally, investigators found no gunshot residue on Olivia's hands, indicating that there was no way she was holding the gun when it went off. There was, however, gunshot residue on Chris's hands and clothing. Despite all of the evidence pointing towards Chris, he pled not guilty to his charges. But before his trial would take place, Olivia's family held a gathering to honor her memory.
This Valentine's Day,
Praying for you. Thank you.
purple and red balloons filled Rogers Park.
Purple means domestic violence, and red was one of her favorite colors.
1 year ago today, Joshua Simmons lost his sister.
Valentine's Day was one of her favorite holidays.
I would give almost anything to have her back right now.
What's this year been like for you and your family?
If you can wrap it up in one word, it would be frustrating.
Frustrated with the fact that Jones isn't behind bars. Now the family wants to raise awareness for domestic violence, but more than anything, they want justice for Olivia.
We want him to spend the rest of his life in prison, while my sister spend the rest of her life in the grave.
After finally having an opportunity to celebrate Olivia's life, her loved ones would once again have to face her death during Chris's upcoming trial. The courtroom was packed with family members from both sides. It had been over 3 years since Olivia's death, and despite the clear tension between the two families, they all wanted the same thing: justice for Olivia. Prosecutors Jimmy Ham and Mike Laird described Chris as an abusive partner with a violent past, and it was only a matter of time before something like this happened. Chris's defense attorney, Ryan Gertz, argued that Chris only grabbed the gun because Olivia was recklessly handling the weapon, putting both herself and Chris in a dangerous predicament. Forensic pathologist Celestina Rossi provided critical bloodstain analysis and confirmed that Olivia did not have any gunshot residue on her, contradicting the defense's claims that her death was merely an accident. The testimonies and evidence combined ultimately overpowered the defense team, and on February 8, 2022, Christopher Ray Jones was found guilty for the murder of his wife, Olivia Jones.
1,118 days. That's how long Olivia Jones's family says they've waited for this moment. The moment when Olivia's husband, Christopher Jones, was found guilty of murder. Olivia died at the hands of her husband on Valentine's Day 2019, and instead of spending a lifetime behind bars,
we elected to agree with the state to a 30-year sentence because of the potential risk of, an even higher sentence.
In exchange, Christopher waived his right to appeal the conviction. After the judge handed down this sentence, Olivia and Christopher's 2 daughters took the stand. Looking directly at their father, they described the impact of Olivia's death. The youngest daughter, who was only 11 when her mother died, said, quote, "I'll forgive you one day, but right now I can't." Throughout the trial, the prosecution described a history of abuse that finally blew up. Defense attorney Ryan Getz argued a different version of events.
I think that we'll never know what happened in that room. Ultimately, my impression from the jurors is that they just didn't believe Chris's version of events, and that really only left the one alternative.
This was an emotional day for Olivia's family. As they were leaving the courtroom, they were encouraging each other, saying, "Today was all about Olivia and she won."
Christopher Jones is currently serving his sentence in the John M. Wynne Unit in Huntsville, Texas.